today because I wanted to be able to get really close to show you things today. So we'll see how this goes. So I think it's going to work. So I just wanted you to be able to see up close to a couple things. So I think we're good. Also, I will follow up. I never did an ingredients list or anything this week, so I will follow up with the ingredients list and all of that. And so, yeah, and I promise no tofu today, promise. And so what I thought I'd do, since this is another healthy cooking segment, and I'm gonna have to get on in the future and make some really good stuff for you ladies, because I'm killing you with all this healthy food. But it looks like I missed a healthy vegetarian dish before I got on. So I'd like to hear about that after. But anyhow, so what I thought I'd do today is trying to take the idea of, well, you know, because we're on Block Island, it's not, we don't exactly get Chinese takeout, but we can certainly make, you know, fried rice and things like that at home. And, you know, it's not the healthiest option. So I thought I would talk to everyone about something that's really popular in my house, because I have teenagers and young adults, and it's these things called, they're all different names. They're called harvest bowls or Buddha bowls or rice bowls, whatever you want to call it. It's a bowl with five elements in it. I always like to think of 5 things, and they're all prepared in a really healthy way. So I tell everyone to pick a grain, and then wait, I wrote this down so I get it in order. So pick a grain that you're going to put in your bowl. Think of a vegetable or a bunch of vegetables that you like, that you want to put in your bowl. And typically here, it will be what I have. I had to adjust today's menu a little because my Misfits Markets vegetables didn't get here in time. So it's a good lesson on just kind of using what you have. And then pick a protein. Could be tofu, but I'm not doing tofu. And, you know, you could do things like shrimp or chicken or, you know, shaved, you know, thinly sliced beef, you know, anything you like. And then I always like to pick a 4th element in this bowl that I'm going to show you. You know, all of those things I just described are all cooked, and they're hot, and they're going to have different flavors. So when you're eating healthy, because again, we're not cooking with a lot of fat, we're not cooking with a lot of, you know, oils and butters, we got to find flavor and a lot of texture and contrast somewhere else to make our mouths and tummies happy. So I always like to put something cold with my Buddha bowl. So I always make some kind of slaw or quick pickle kind of thing. And I'm going to show you that. And then at the end, the 5th element is just, you know, some kind of sauce that you can make homemade, or that comes out of a bottle. And that's why I'm on my phone today, because I wanted to get up really close and show you all the things that I keep in my kitchen. So I am going to try and do that now so you guys can see. Let me flip this around. All right. Okay. So what I have done is I chose as my grain today, I chose rice, and this is sushi rice. I get this in big bags off of Amazon. You can use whatever kind of rice you like. We're going to be just serving it plain in the bowl. But this is a short grain rice. You know, sushi rice is short grain. And here's my rice cooker, and it's all done in there. I live for my rice cooker, just because it always makes perfect rice. And you can walk away from it too. So anyhow, I like the sushi rice a lot of times because of the short grain. It gets sticky, you know, all the starch comes out, it gets nice and sticky, and it tastes yummy. And so then for some of my vegetables today, I'm going to use something maybe a little unexpected, which is going to be sweet potatoes. It's a good time of year because we all have lots of potatoes in our pantries. And so to extract flavor from this component of the bowl, I cooked the sweet potatoes. See, I just peeled them and cubed them. I cooked them in coconut milk. So this is just a regular can of coconut milk. And I added a little bit of water because I wanted a little more liquid. And I brought it up to a boil and then brought it back down. And at the size of these guys, that took about 7 minutes to cook. So all these things that I'm making to go with the rice, the amount of time that it took that rice to cook over there, everything was done. So anyhow, so that's our sweet potatoes. And the protein I chose today, because we were doing meatless, is edamame, which is kind of like a bean pea type thing. It's just really high in protein, not a lot of flavor. So what I do, and I get this from Peapod. You know, you can get them already shelled. See, is this? Yeah, this is giant. That's giant. So it's the shelled edamame, comes in the freezer. Throw it in a bowl, a pan, a pot with some water. And what I do to extract flavor in that component of the bowl, I love this better than bouillon stuff. It's like a paste in there, and you just put a little teaspoon in there and stir it around when you cook it. And that adds some flavor, and it adds some salt and probably a bunch of other stuff, but you know, it's okay. We're not frying anything. So that's the protein. And then over here is my fourth element, which is my something cold and something with a lot of texture. So I was going to make you guys kind of an Asian cabbage slaw, but as I said, my vegetables did not arrive, so not a problem. We adjust. I took some romaine and kind of shredded it with some radishes and salt and pepper, a little olive oil, and to kick up the Asian flavors. See this here? I just on a box grater grated up some ginger, and there's some ginger in there I threw in. And when I grate ginger, I don't even peel it. I just cut off the end and start grating, and it will naturally peel for you. So don't go through all the effort. You can take a spoon and scrape around the skin of a ginger, but I think it's an extra step. So now we have this really, and I used rice wine vinegar because I'm trying to keep with today's bowl, I'm trying to keep it kind of Asian flavors. And I mean, I can smell this. It smells really good. You smell the vinegar and you smell the ginger. And when you like put this in your bowl next to all the stuff that's all hot and steamy, it tastes good. And then if you want to start drizzling a sauce, once we have this whole bowl all put together, let me move this out of the way. Oh, as another aside, I had a bunch of extra stuff in my fridge. So later, before I feed my family, these were just some vegetables I had in my fridge left over. I had a bok choy, I had a few mushrooms, some broccoli. I'm going to use my extra ginger and mince up this garlic. I'm going to throw it in a pan with this vegetables, and I'm going to put some soy sauce in it, and I'm going to put that also in our bowl. So that's always a really good way to do vegetables. And if you need more liquid, you can add some water or even some vegetable broth, or some water and a little dollop of that in with your veg. But anyhow, so I have all these toppings that this is the kind of stuff I keep in my fridge, and it's all stuff that's really easy to get. And I did notice at the Block Island Grocery, they have quite a lot of good jars and sauces and things, especially in the Asian flavor aisle. So it's definitely worth a trip down there to grab a few things. So anyhow, so I have sesame oil here. Could throw a little bit of that in our slaw, just a little. That's really strong. I have a sweet chili sauce that we can be dolloping on our bowl when we're done. I have a ponzu sauce, kind of like soy sauce, a little citrusy. Like I said, you know, I have the rice wine vinegar. I have a tamari, which is just a gluten-free alternative to soy sauce. I have soy sauce, and in my house, we really like spice. So I will just put, this is, and you can get this at the grocery here. This is sambal. It's just a chili paste, chili and garlic. It's super spicy. So if you don't like spice, stay away from that. And then this is something that I make that's always in our refrigerator. The liquid is fish sauce, which is that awesome vinegary, stinky sauce that you can get at the grocery store, and chopped up peppers, spicy peppers. And these typically would be like Thai chilies or jalapenos. What I'm using is over at the 1661 farm. She grows these amazing hot peppers, and I have them. I'm almost out. I have them in my freezer, and I get them from the farm there, from Kelly's, in the food truck when they sell produce in the summer. So that's a yummy thing to do as a topping. And then if you want to go fancy, I cut up some avocado. And then I also have sheets of nori, which are seaweed. This is the stuff that you make sushi with. We could do a sushi making night one night. That'd be fun. But this is just a sheet of nori. What I do at the end, I like crinkle it all up and sprinkle it all over the top of the bowl if I'm doing Asian flavors. And that kind of just gives it a, salty, oceany flavor. And so that is it. And really, in the amount of time that rice cooked, we made all these different components. And now I'm going to put it in the bowl and show you and make it look pretty. And the key is when you make these, let me turn this around. The key is when you make these bowls, what makes them so pretty is that, normally, like if we do fried rice or something like that, if we're trying to make some sort of takeout-y, Asian-y kind of meal at home, everything gets thrown in the pot or the wok or the pan or whatever you're using, and all gets mixed in. And it tastes great. But this way of doing things, everything is separated on the bowl. And it looks really pretty. And then, as you're eating, whether you're going to use chopsticks or if you're just going to use forks and knives, you're slowly kind of mixing everything all in. And it's a fun thing. And it's a fun way to entertain. Remember those days when we actually had people over our house? And dying for that. What I've done at parties, I've just kind of put out like a whole buffet bar, all kinds of toppings, and then everyone can kind of walk around with their bowl and chat and talk and fill whatever items or ingredients that they want in their bowl. And one final thing, which I believe is probably a very Korean touch, is like to put like a hard-boiled egg on top of your bowl, cut it in half, and then as you're eating, kind of mix that egg in with everything. That tastes really good. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to try to put this phone down, and I want to make up my bowl. And let me see if I can figure this out. And then maybe if anyone wants to ask me a question, or if anyone wants to talk or anything, I will put this together. It'll take me, 3 minutes. All right, so I'm going to do that. Let me know if you have any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
What kind of rice cooker do you have?
So this brand, which I just, when we moved here, got off Amazon, so it's fairly new because mine broke. Mm-hmm. It's called Aroma. And it's great. This is nothing fancy. This is not an Instapot. It's nothing like that. But I'll tell you, you can cook all kinds of rice. You can really almost use it as like a crock pot. You can even steam things in it. It comes with a little basket. So you really could put rice and vegetables on the bottom. You could put a piece of fish in there and close it up. And I think, one of my kids is obsessed with his Instapot, one of my older children. And he uses it all the time. More of a time saver thing because, it's a really nice pressure cooker. So I'm going to show you one thing I'm going to do when I plate my bowl for fun. If you want to get fancy one night, I don't know, maybe you could do it for Valentine's Day or something. If you take a little bowl, doesn't have to be stainless steel. This is just one I grab. Or if you take a measuring cup and put a little oil in it, which I'm going to do, and then rub it around, and then put your rice in here, a big healthy scoop of your rice, and press it down. And then all you have to do, you can pop it into your bowl, and it makes that really pretty shape like you get in restaurants. And so if you want to feel all fancy. So I'm going to do that. So this bowl looks super pretty. And also, so I do these kind of bowls, like I do all kinds. I do a take, like an Italian take on one, where in my grain, instead of rice, I do like roasted potatoes. I roast potatoes with garlic and rosemary, and I put that in. And then I'll do another quadrant of, you know, skadal, like a greens and garlic, or a portobello mushroom with balsamic vinegar, maybe some jarred roasted red peppers. And then as a drizzle, I'll make some pesto sauce and drizzle that on the top. That's a good bowl. Another good bowl is like a Mexican inspired. Make some yellow rice with peas, some black beans, some pico de gallo, and maybe drizzle it with an avocado sauce. I'm going to make up a bunch of different little bowl recipes tomorrow morning, and I'll send it out with the ingredients. Because, you know, it's just a fun way of doing things. All right.
Nancy.
All right. I'm going to quickly get this bowl ready.
Desiree, what's the recipe that you use for the fish sauce and pepper thing that you showed us?
That literally is just, I'm sorry, I'm washing a bowl because my kids used the bowls that I wanted to use for this today. So I'm quickly washing one. Let me get the sound out of here. All I do is take fish sauce, and I chop up a really hot chili, and I put it in a little mason jar and keep it in my fridge. And I mean, we eat it up. So, but I mean, that would last ages because, you know, it's in, you know, the fish sauce is basically a vinegar. And if you kind of like that fish sauce taste, you could use some peppers that aren't so crazy. You know, the peppers I use for us, I mean, they'll kill you. You know, we like that. But you can just put a not so hot pepper in that and still kind of get that fish saucy flavor. And the longer it stays in there, I think the better it tastes. All right, so I'm going to see if my flipping of my rice works. Of course, it's going to stick because I was talking. Get in there. So. All right. Well, it didn't. I'll show you. It didn't come out very perfect, but I'm not going to redo it and take up more time. You can see it just kind of kept the shape. And now I'm just gonna, whoops, sorry guys. All right, now I'm gonna put all the other stuff on it, and then you can see how pretty it looks. And unfortunately, I hate throwing stuff away, but you know, you have all this coconut milk where you had the potatoes. There's really not much you can do with this milk after it's been cooking, unless maybe you want to put it in a smoothie or something. It's pretty much seeing its last day. And remember, I don't have any meat or fish in this, so you know, that will make it much more hearty. If you did some chicken or shrimp or some beef and put a half hard-boiled egg on top of this, I mean, that would be a nice meal. All right, I'm almost done here. And again, the good thing about this is that when you have sauces to go on top, everyone can kind of put their own.
Desiree, do you make an individual bowl for each person in your family, or do you do it kind of like buffet style as you described a little earlier?
You know, I do. I make an each individual one. Probably because I'm just being a control freak, and I feel like they won't do it right if they do it themselves. But yeah, you could totally do that family style in a big huge bowl. That would be fun, you know. And also, if everyone doesn't like everything, then if people do their own, you know, they can put in what they want, what they don't want. And so, because I know that the nori seaweed is not a fan favorite of a lot of people in my house, so I think they would typically skip that one. So, I mean, so that's basically it. So, you know, it's funny, there's not really a I didn't put any sauce on this one, but you know, there's not really a recipe here. It's just like a pretty bowl of things, you know, and you can make it look super pretty. You know, if you want other colors, you can roast some beets, some roasted beets in a corner that would be bright red. That'd be super pretty. You know, there's so much stuff you can do. And then on this one, I'll probably do my fish sauce, and I might put something sweet on it too, a little of the sweet chili sauce. And then for another little bit of bite, this is some pickled ginger. It says sushi ginger, but all it is pickled ginger. I really think the contrast of something cold and vinegary with this stuff, because rice is very creamy, avocado's creamy, the sweet potatoes are super creamy because they were cooked in coconut. So you want something really vinegary and pickly. And remember, you can always do a quick pickle pretty much out of anything. I mean, anything, just whatever vegetable, slice it up thin, put it in a bowl with some vinegar and a little sprinkle of salt, a little sprinkle of sugar, and just kind of let it sit there for the afternoon. And you have a little pickle, you know, even if you don't have, you know, if you have cucumbers. Yeah, I mean, the possibilities.
I'm sorry, you're going to send me an email with the ingredients and basic.
I am.
ingredients? Oh, great. And that
I am.
people that came a
I'll
little
send-
later, I can forward that to the group.
All right, perfect. And I'll put like
It'll let everyone
list of
know
all
not
those.
to worry.
Okay, yeah, because yeah, because there's a lot of ingredients there. So
Yeah, thank you.
So I will not forget. And yeah, and I'll put the other ideas down of some of those other bowls that I make too. I'll group it all by like by theme. And then you know, and then once, you know, if you make these one night, you'll just end up using stuff you have in your fridge, or you know, you'll get your own ideas. And but this whole bowl phenomenon, my older kids really got me into it because it just, I guess it was just really popular, you know, when they used to, you know, go out, you know, and a lot of fast casual and takeout places are doing riffs on these harvest bowls. And it's a good way to eat seasonally, you know, in the summer, do stuff with a lot of zucchini and tomatoes, and you know, you can go on and on. So that's it.
If anyone has any questions, now would be a good time. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, Desiree?
Oh, there.
Yes.
Yeah. When you molded the rice in the bowl.
Yes.
All right, and so then it comes out, and then all of the ingredients go in the bowl, but it looked like you had it upside down. So what?
Yeah.
how does
So
it-
what
just-
that didn't, my mold did not come out well. Normally it'll come out as like a high mold. Like I should have used maybe more of like a cup, measurement cup. So you get this kind of
Okay.
3-dimensional thing, and then so it's high. So what I do, and then I put the ingredients around it. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's almost
yes,
like
I got you.
this high cylinder pile of rice. And you know, I don't always do that. I was just trying to be
Right.
fancy.
And I've made these when put
No,
a
I want-
I'm sorry, somebody else speaking. I was just gonna say, if you wanted an egg that's soft boiled or like a jammy yolk, you know, not full hard boiled, then you get a little of the yolk to make a sauce too, which
That would be
can be
yeah,
really,
that would be
really
yummy.
delicious too, if you
Yeah,
like.
that would be
sauce
yummy.
with
And you
yolk.
wouldn't even need a sauce then. That'll just kind of get all oozy with everything.
Yeah, that's a good way too. It sounds so good. We might have it for dinner.
Good.
Thanks.
What kind of rice do you use?
Can you deliver?
It's okay. That may be coming in the next 6 months. We will see.
Oh,
What kind of rice do you use?
sounds good.
So
I
there's
want to
some-
say that I didn't buy any tofu yet.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't hold it
I
against
will.
you.
But what I did, I cheated a little because when I was over in America, I stopped into Belmont and picked up some of the small little variety of their tofu selections.
Oh,
I had a pad thai, a peanut pad thai, but I have to say, I don't think the tofu really absorbed the flavors. And then I picked up a Mediterranean one, which was a little bit better.
mhm.
But I will try the tofu.
All right. Well, I don't want to make
You
everyone.
know, you kind of like when you did tofu. No, I'm losing you. I guess I can't hear you now.
I'm losing you too. Let me see.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but I'm gonna look forward to trying your roll up lasagna with tofu rather than
Okay.
ricotta.
Well, remember, so my
It's
thing about
very
tofu
good.
is, let me see if
Everyone's losing each other.
we're losing each other. I just wanted to say so that if you have something when the tofu doesn't taste good, tofu is like a sponge. So once you have your
Right.
tofu, you got to really pat that dry, even press out some of the liquid, because the more liquid you get out of your tofu, the more stuff it'll absorb, because it's really just kind of like a flavorless sponge. So yeah. So like with the pad thai, maybe that's what happened,
All right. I also tried something called tempeh,
Oh, tempeh. Yeah,
T-E-M-P.
tempeh. Yeah,
How
it
does
can
it,
be
how
tough.
do you pronounce it?
I pronounce it
Oh, say-
tempeh.
Tempeh. Okay.
Yeah.
And how was that different?
I think that's still a soy product. I think it's just prepared differently. And you can get a real
Okay.
meaty texture out of that. I have made
Yeah,
tempeh tacos, tempeh meatballs. I mean, it can be tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough ingredient, but you can, and it's another way to get protein that's not meat.
Okay, so that is a type of tofu, another soy product? Is
Yeah,
that
I
it?
think it's just another soy product. I guess probably maybe
Okay.
more of a processed product. Yeah, I would have to read about it. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I have used it before. So
Oh.
yeah. But
It did have the texture of more a meat kind of texture than the other dishes.
it did. Yeah, it's more grainy. But a lot of times if
Yeah.
I want to make something meaty, I'll make some lentils. Like I make lentil meatballs and stuff. That makes a good meat substitute. Like even a lentil taco, believe it or not, it tastes good. You just gotta,
Okay. I'm sure my mother is hearing you up there making lentil meatballs. But it's okay.
Okay.
I know.
But always willing to learn new things.
That's right. That's right. But you can't beat a good meatball. Not a real
Right.
one. I shouldn't even
Well,
be
not a real
called the
one.
lentil ones. Yeah, I know. I've tried it all. I did lentils. I've done chickpeas. You put sauce on it, you try, but yeah, it's not the same.
Well, it's okay. It's always, like I said, it's always good to try new things.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know if I'm losing something else or what.
Me too.
Okay.
I just want to add something. We were late coming here because we had to meet our daughter, but knowing that meatballs are still the best answer, at our age, I think we'll stay with meatballs.
That's right.
Okay, well,
I think that's it. I think that's everyone's questions. Well, thank you again, everyone, for letting me bring you some healthy food.
Thank
And I'm
you.
gonna
That was
put I'm gonna put a pin in the healthy food now, and from now I'm gonna cook some good stuff the next couple times.
Yeah, those were both great. My daughter
They're-
makes a bowl
thank you.
all the time.
Yeah, Stella would probably love that, right? The kids, they
She kind of
like-
learned at Persephone's some tricks. So
Yes, exactly. It's the same
awesome.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Persephone's has those awesome breakfast bowls. They're delicious.
and like my daughter will she'll always substitute because we don't often have the exact ingredients. So they can be really flexible.
Yeah.
What would a breakfast bowl consist of? Egg and,
Ooh, you can, but I've done breakfast bowls with oatmeal, and I've kind of done a loaded oatmeal, and it's really filling. So I put all kinds of toppings on it, like
Oh, thank you.
berries and bananas and nuts and granola.
Or like
dollop-
acai. Mhm,
Yep,
acai.
yep. You could do that, dollops of almond butter, things like that. And you could totally do an egg bowl. And you could pick a grain. I would do like some grits, or I don't make grits. I make pouland, like a polenta, which is like the Italian cornmeal, similar to grits. You put that in a bowl with I'm trying to get everyone's names. Like Susan was saying, put a runny egg on top of the polenta with maybe some crumpled bacon and stuff. That would be a good breakfast.
yeah, thank you. Mhm.
So shortly before everyone goes, I just want to remind everyone, thank you. Thank you so much, Desiree. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
On the 3rd of February, Pat Doyle is going to be hosting, and something about sheet pan meals. That was the information I was just told. And then on the 10th of February, Joe and Lynn Loya will be hosting. And then on the 17th, Susan Stover is going to come back. So don't worry if you don't need to write it all down. We'll be announcing it on the bib. But thank you everyone for coming, and
Thank you.
hopefully we'll see you all again soon.
Yeah, thank you. Great, thanks.
I think
Okay.
recorded,
Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone.